Good afternoon, it's Brant Bodecker here at Coyote Classics. Been a mechanic for about 30 years. Love the job, it's fun. My position here is Tech 2. We're gonna go through how to winterize a classic car. All right, let's get down to winterizing this beautiful 73 Challenger. We're gonna talk about storage. Where are you gonna store your car? Don't store it outside. I don't suggest that. These cars are way more valuable, to me anyway. I don't, like to see that, so try to pick a decent place. Why not store your car outside? I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not a good thing. The weather can damage a lot of things. You can get critters inside your car. You don't want mice in there. They can go up the A-pillar in the back and get into your headliner, and it's just not good. It can become a very, very costly repair for you. Car covers do work in certain situations, but I don't recommend them outside. The material can scratch the paint, wind can blow on them, and it can do damage to the paint. So I don't recommend a car cover outside just because of that fact that you could damage your car. Winterizing a classic car, very important. Antifreeze level is very important, so is the degrees, the temperature. We don't want things freezing, do we, Mark?
No, we don't.
What happens?
If you get not strong enough on the antifreeze, the radiator could freeze.
You can pop a frost plug out of the block.
Yes, it's not good.
Very costly repair, so let's not do that.
It's good to keep it at least 35. I would recommend anywhere from 35 to 40.
You can test it with these cool little testers. They're cheap. Little pill level on there tells you where your level is at as far as temperature goes. Not hard to take care of it all, it just takes time. What do you think of batteries, Mark?
It's good to have a fully charged battery if you're going to store it for a long period of time.
Low amp battery charger?
Put a tender on it.
You bet.
Does not cost hardly anything to run. It keeps that battery charged.
Ready to go, so the next time you're ready to cruise, it'll fire up for you.
Fire up.
You bet. Most of your classic car batteries are under the hood. Some people will modify things and put them in the trunk, but that doesn't happen too often. If your classic car has washer fluid jug on it, make sure that you double check it. Also, this car does not have it because it's more of a race car, but usually it's in this location. It's blue, it's a jug. You can very visibly see it pretty easy in a classic car. And just make sure it's not gonna freeze up for you.
It's a good idea to keep it full. You do not want it low. That again will draw moisture and it'll crack your jug, especially if it's plastic.
Another thing would be a good idea to maybe check or change your oil before you put your car away so it's ready to go for the summer when you go to dig it out. Every classic car's got a dipstick. It's either on this side, right side, or sometimes they're in the center. Just pull it out, give it a good look, double check it. The condition of it will be darker or lighter.
There are lines on a dipstick also to tell you where
the location is
at. This one is right there, which is low. This is where it should be. This oil is very dirty. New oil, real hard to see on the dipstick, which is a good thing because it's nice and clean. It does not have no contaminants in it.
Good point, Mark. What do you think about types of oil to put in a car?
These older cars call for 1030, just like a 1030.
It all depends too if you have a race car or something that you had personally built and you know what you did to the car. A lot of times people will buy these cars and they'll buy a performance motor and they really don't know. Just do your research on what you purchase and it'll help you a lot in the long run to preserve your
And the reason
engine.
we'd like to have the oil changed before you put it away, that way all the contaminants are out, there's no moisture in it, it's a nice fresh oil change. That way when you get it out in the spring, it's ready to roll.
I suggest maybe starting it up too whenever you get a chance to. If you're not busy on a Sunday, go fire your classic car up. Let it run for 15-20 minutes and shut it off.
Warm everything up.
Warm everything up. That's real good. It helps out a lot. All right, Mark, let's talk about the interior of this car. What do you like to wipe your car down with when you put your classic away?
I use Armor All wipes.
Does a pretty good job. Gets the dust down.
I wipe the seats down, the dash. I vacuum the floors, make it all ready to go when you get it out in the spring.
It's a really nice car. It ain't sold yet, so just remember that. This car's for sale, guys.
Nice interior in this car. When you put it away,
throw some dryer sheets in there, keep the mice out.
I would recommend mothballs.
Mothballs stink, Mark. Why do we got to use mothballs?
They do a little bit better job.
They probably do a better job, but they do smell a little. You don't want them in the headliner. This headliner up here is very, very expensive. They can crawl inside these pillars here and get up under here and make nests and chew. It's just terrible sometimes what we have seen from ice damage. Another good thing to do in the trunk of your car, a lot of moisture can build up in here. What do you suggest putting in here, Mark?
Sprinkle baking soda.
Keep the moisture out.
Yeah.
Keep it dry. We don't need to get rust in here. It's a nice car.
You don't need no varmints inside the trunk.
Varmints is bad.
They like wiring. They will chew your wiring, and then you don't want to have no issues when you come get it out in the spring.
I've seen raccoons and I've seen mice tear a lot of cars up.
Oh yes.
Don't want that. Now, this is a performance car, a little bit different. When you got a performance car, you don't want to do a cold start. Not a good thing. Cold starts are very, very dangerous if you don't wait for oil pressure to pump up. Some of these cars have got 50 weight oil in them, and it just takes a while for it to pump pressure up. Don't over rev it. It's just a good idea to just let it idle, let it wake up, let it warm up, and everything will be good to go. This is a carburetor, much different than today's vehicles. They have fuel injection, and you don't have to do near the maintenance on stuff like you do these cars. So it's really important to choose the right fuel for the application of car you have. We do suggest a fuel additive. What do you think, Mark?
Red heat.
Very good product.
Keeps the water out.
Moisture out.
If you happen to use yellow, then it's too late. That means your gas line is already frozen.
Yeah, you don't want your gas lines to freeze.
No. And it's very important to keep at least a half a tank or more in during the winter time.
Good point. Keep moisture out. Moisture builds up on
anything below a half a tank. Moisture collects.
Causes rust.
It will ruin tanks. It will ruin
sending
fuel
units.
Pumps, sending units. We see this all the time.
That's all we fix, pretty much. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about tires on a classic car. Classic cars do not have a light on the dash that tell you your tires are flat. Because when Jess's tires are flat, she comes up to me and says, "Hey, can you pump my tires up?" Right, Mark?
Yes.
What do you think? What should we do for tire pressure?
About 32, I would recommend.
Good, 32, 35. Get a gauge. We have this fancy gauge we use, but they make simple gauges, cheap gauges you can buy.
We will show you. Take off your valve stem. Come on. I'll turn it on. And this one's set at 20, 25.7, 8, 9. We should be at 32.
And it doesn't even look low.
No.
So that's how important it is. It can be deceiving when you look at the tire itself.
And if you're gonna leave your car set for a period of time, I would recommend to jack it up, put blocks underneath. That way when you get it out in the springtime, you do not have flat spots.
Good point.
And that's that will ruin the tire if you get flat spots.
Yeah, tires are expensive.
Yes.
Hey, this is Brad Coyote Classics.
This is
Meet
Juicy
Juicy J over here.
This is Juicy J.
He does the detail at this place. He keeps the stuff clean and shiny.
I keep it fun. I keep it fun.
What do you do, Jay? What do you think? What do you think about
Keep the cars moving around. You don't want to keep them sit in one spot for a long time. You get flat spots, weather check, and sometimes they get some mice and stuff in them. Grab a rubber snake, throw them, and keep that in there. Maybe that'll help keep them away, I guess. So maybe throw some fuel stabilizer in it, and that's about all I got.
Good points. Thanks, Jay.
I think it's going to be a good one. I think after I get some juice on it, I think she'll be sell quick. So.
Thank you for watching our video. Like and subscribe. If there's anything we missed, please let us know. We're trying to cover it all.